Hey guys, I'm Brett Kreger and I want to show you how I got 16 listings as a brand new part-time agent in my first 9 months. Now I want to start by saying I know there's a million ways to get listings in the real estate industry. I'm just going to share my experience and hopefully you can draw some parallels or get some value out of it. The strategy I use to get all of my listings is 4 sell-by-owner appointments. I can't express how important 4 sell-by-owners were for me as a brand new part-time agent. I got 16 listings. I was able to quit my job, come on full time, sell 37 houses in my first year, and it was just a springboard for me to get listings, to get clients, and to really change the trajectory of my career. Now there's 2 ways to find for sale by owners. The first and the best way is to drive areas, zip codes, and neighborhoods that you want to work in and look for sale by owner signs. The National Association of Realtors did a study that found 40% of for sale by owners are still not using the internet to market their properties. That means if you drive around and find a for sale by owner, there's a 40% chance they're not on the internet. And if they don't have any presence online, it gives you a great opportunity to list that property. The second way is to find them on Zillow and set up an automatic search so that you get notifications immediately when a brand new for sale by owner hits the market. I like to reach out to these for sale by owners immediately because if they can hit enter and list their house on the internet and get a call from me within 30 minutes, I know I have a great opportunity to set the tone with that for sale by owner and have a great opportunity to get the appointment with. Now I have a lot of people ask me, is it better to call the for sale by owner when they're brand new on the market, or is it better to wait until they're 90 or 180 days? And the answer is, there is no right time. Pick up the phone and call them. For sale by owners are all about timing and motivation. They might not be motivated enough and the timing might not be right on the first day, and it might be perfect on day 180 when you reach out to them. Once I found the for sale by owner, I needed to call them and get an appointment with them. The phone call is very simple and should be 60 seconds long, no longer. I have a simple 4-line script that allows me to get on the phone, get the appointment, and get off the phone. Being a good salesperson over the phone is very difficult. That's why I like to get the appointment and then get face to face with them. The longer you talk on the phone, the more you're going to talk yourself out of an appointment. Get on the phone, get the appointment, get off. When I'm scheduling my for sale by owner appointments, I like to stack as many of them as I can all in a row. When I was part-time, I only had 10 or 15 hours a week to prospect, so I would spend 1 day a week calling for sale by owners, and I would line up as many appointments as I could on a Saturday, typically between 10:30 and 2:30. I would try to have 5 to 8 for sale by owners every single week, and I like to stack them one after another in one day because I feel like it allowed me to build momentum in those appointments. If I schedule an appointment 1 per day, then I sleep in between then, I eat in between then, I got a million things going on, and it's tough for me to build momentum off of each appointment. Versus if I have one every 45 minutes, by the second one I'm twice as good, by the third one I'm 3 times as good, by the fourth one I'm 4 times as good. It allows me to learn from each appointment and apply it to that next appointment. I'm hearing the same questions, the same objections, and if I can do them in a row, it allows me to be more skilled in answering those questions. This is one of the biggest hacks I found in doing any sort of appointment. Cram as many of them as you can into as small a period as you can, and you're gonna grow faster. Another trick I like to do is the day of the for sale by owner appointment, I will put a thank you card in the mail to that for sale by owner. Don't use this as an opportunity to brand yourself. Don't put cards in the letter. Don't use a brokerage branded letter. Just say thank you for your time. Thank you for opening up your house to me. I hope we get an opportunity to work together. Very simple. It's going to set yourself apart because you're going to be the only realtor, I promise, that does this. Once I'm at the appointment, I like to break the meeting up into 2 sections. The first section is a tour of the home. I ask the seller to give me a tour, tell me anything you fixed, repaired, replaced, updated, and then we walk around the house getting a tour. During this period, 80% of the conversation you're having should be about rapport building, finding commonalities, and providing value. The other 20% can be about the house. Most real estate agents make a mistake by asking how old the hot water tank is, how old the roof is. They ask about this and that. They don't realize it's not about the house. It's about building rapport with that homeowner. A for sale by owner will only work with you if they like you and trust you. And really, it doesn't even go that far. They just have to not hate you and not think you're an idiot. So if you can build a small amount of rapport and provide value during that period, it's gonna go a long way. After the tour, we typically stop in a common area of the home, the living room or the kitchen, and then I like to transition from the house and rapport building to the seller. I need to find out what their timeline and their motivation is. And I do that by asking one question. if I could sell your house tomorrow, can you be out in 30 days? What that does is it allows the seller to tell me what's going on in their life. They're going to say, yes, we can be out because we already bought a home. Or no, we can't be out. Our house is under construction and it won't be done until X month. And it allows me to figure out what their motivation is, why they're moving, and what their timeline is when they need to move. The more information I have about their situation, the more I can influence their decision. After we finish talking about their timeline and their motivation and what's going on in their life, then I want to move on to the next phase where I ask them 3 questions that lead them to believe that they don't know what they're doing and they need your help. You see, you have to understand what's going on in the mind of a for sale by owner. And the best way I can explain it is this: you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. If that for sale by owner is not ready to hear your pitch, it can be the best pitch in the world, but it's going to fall on deaf ears. And if that for sale by owner is ready, then it can be the worst pitch in the world, and they're going to be receptive to what you have to say because the timing and the motivation is right. So we need to help get that for sale by owner to the right place so that they can receive what we have to offer. And we do that by asking 3 questions. The first one is, what kind of traffic have you been receiving? The second one is, what kind of feedback have you received? And the third one is, have you received any offers? And the concept is, I'm trying to get them to think in their head, I don't know what I'm doing. But I can't tell them that because then we'd be fighting. So I have to ask them questions to lead them to believe that. So when I ask what kind of traffic have they been getting, they're going to say a lot. Great. I move on to the next question. If they say none, I say, well, why not? And we can start to chip away at what they think is going on. If they say traffic has been great, I move on to the next question. What kind of feedback have you been receiving? If they say great, everyone says they love it, I move on to the next question. If they don't, if they say, well, I haven't gotten any feedback, or no one's really talking to me, or I can't get anyone to return my calls, then I start to chip away at that. Why not? What do you think the problem is? I can let them know that it's very difficult to sell a house if you're not getting real-time feedback from the market. And lastly, if everything's going great, I ask them, have you received any offers? And I know they probably haven't because I'm in their house with them at that time. I'll ask them, if you're getting tons of traffic and everyone says they love it, has anyone mentioned why they're not writing any offers? And they're going to come up with a million reasons why they think it is, but at the end of the day, they don't know, and they need to start thinking that in their head. And the more you can ask these questions, the further along the line you can move them so that they get to a point where they don't know what to do. At the end of the for sale by owner appointment, I do 2 more things. One, I want to give the owner a soft pitch on what I can offer them as a real estate agent, and then I want to ask permission to follow up. The soft pitch is different than a hard pitch, where I might say something like, hey, if I could list it at this, would you sign today? I'm not trying to get them to make a decision right now because they might not be the right person. A soft pitch might sound something like this: hey, if this ever becomes a pain in the neck for you, I just want to let you know I can do this and this. The key is, if they're not ready to hear it yet, you're laying the base work for a future conversation where you can actually list their property. If they are ready to hear it yet, they're going to stop you and ask questions like, what does that mean? Or how does that work? Or what if we did this? And if they're asking questions, that means they're ready and you can go in for a hard pitch. And right before I leave, I always ask for permission to follow up. I just ask, do you mind if I follow up in a week or so to make sure the home is still available? They always say yes, and that makes an easier follow-up call in a week. The last piece to the for sale by owner process, and the most important part, is the follow-up. Very rarely are you going to get a listing on the appointment or on the phone call. The key is in the follow-up. The seller should get a thank you card in the mail from you the very next day, and then you need to get them on at least a weekly cadence of follow-up, whether it be text message, phone calls, or emails. However you're communicating with them, you need to be following up with them. The follow-up call is going to be simple. It should be 60 seconds or less. You're getting on the phone, you're following up, reminding them who you are, what you can do, and getting off the phone. You want to build off the rapport that you built during the appointment. Pick the conversation up where you left it off. If you're talking about sports teams, bring up sports teams. If you're talking about vacations, bring up a vacation. Whatever it was, pick the conversation up where you left it off. Then we want to ask the 3 questions again. What kind of traffic have you received since I saw you last? Have you received any feedback from any buyers? And have you received any offers since we last spoke? Again, we're moving them down that line to where they get to a point where they don't know what they're doing and they need help. And the last thing, with every follow-up, I give them another soft pitch. Hey, just a reminder, if this ever becomes a pain in the neck for you, this is what I can offer you. This is what I do for my clients. Let them know what you can do, and if they're not ready to hear it, they're gonna say, okay, great, talk to you soon, and they're gonna hang up. But if they're ready, they're gonna stop you and they're gonna ask questions. What do you mean? How does that work? What if we do this? Then you know you can go in for your hard pitch like we discussed earlier. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions about the tactics or the scripts that I deployed in this process, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to talk to you about it. Otherwise, good luck, guys.